Hey, this is Dr. Shannon Tran, and I help to remove the success saboteurs that can really rob you of your happiness and success. Um, and today I want to share 10 of the most destructive mindsets that not only rob you of your success, but create self doubt and really keep you stuck from moving forward. And if you've ever been stuck before, you know how difficult it could be to build momentum again, to feel like you're moving forward, and to have the confidence to make good decisions, or to have the clarity to know what the next best step is. And so once we identify these 10 destructive mindsets, it'll help you be able to get through them much faster and help you move along your path so you're really enjoying massive happiness and success in your life. So go ahead and get a pen and paper because you're likely going to want to write these down, and it's very likely that you'll have more than one that you'll want to work on in order to help you move forward. So if you noticed you've been feeling stuck and you don't know why, this could really be the answer that you've been looking for. Okay, so the first destructive mindset that you can develop is what's called analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is when you basically overthink. You keep analyzing the situation over and over and over again. And it makes it very difficult then to problem solve or to make a decision. And I don't know if you've had this experience before, but sometimes when you don't know what to do, or when you feel overwhelmed in making a decision, you can get overly analytical and then start to rethink and rethink and rethink. And after a while, it actually gets you stuck when we overanalyze because we're not really tapped into the feeling or the concern that we have around making the decision. So when you get into analysis paralysis, really ask yourself, what is the emotion that's behind this tendency to overthink? It might be anxiety. It might be fear of making the wrong choice. It might be fear of, not trusting yourself, whatever it may be. But usually, when we get into analysis paralysis, it's because we have some kind of fear, an emotional fear that's underneath that behavior to overanalyze. So, if that's you, see if you can really get to what the emotion is behind that behavior, and that will help you begin to unstick some of that stuck behavior. The next destructive mindset is having the thought or the belief that you're going to wait until the right time. And quite honestly, there's never going to be a right time. So if you find yourself saying, now's just not a good time, maybe later, someday. So that's the getting ready to get ready to get ready. So not long ago, I saw this YouTube video of a little pony wanting to step down. I guess she was like in a little barn, and she was wanting to step out of this little barn that she was in, and she kept getting ready to get ready. And I know I've been there, and perhaps you have too, where you're kind of gearing up, and this little pony was like tapping its little hooves, and you could see like all the hesitation that came up because they were afraid of moving forward. And sometimes we can fear change, and one way that we stay stuck is think next time, or when it's a better time. Now there are moments where you do need to consider timing, but if that's your default, if you constantly hear yourself saying, oh, it's not the right time, then that could actually be a thinking pattern that holds you back from stepping into your greatness. So you really need to take a look at, are you using it as an excuse? Are you using timing as a means of not moving forward in your life? Okay, because practice being able to take action, even if it's just the next right step. So it could be a phone call, it could be reaching out to someone, it could be getting more information, it could be making an investment, but really come from the mindset of what's just the next right step so that you're not fearing action. Okay, it's really important that you get comfortable taking regular action so you don't get stuck in inaction. All right, the third most destructive type of thinking is that fear of commitment, when we're afraid to make a commitment. So fear of commitment doesn't just happen in relationships, it also happens when it comes to our goals, right? Maybe we're afraid to commit to um, a coaching program that's a year or 6 months or even 3 months. Or maybe we're afraid to even commit to our goals because we don't know how long it's going to take. And if you have a fear of commitment, then what's going to happen is you're going to get stuck or derailed anytime there's a setback or a challenge, because there are going to be rough spots along the way, right? Even in a plane, when they're flying a plane, it's like off course 90% of the time, but it's constantly recalibrating and getting back on track so that it's hitting its destination. And similarly, on our path to success, whatever that looks like for you, there could be setbacks. And so if you have a fear of really committing and you notice you're only halfway in, you're not 100% committed to your goal, that it's easy then to give up prematurely or give up when you get discouraged, or not even stay committed to just even completing it. So it's really important that you break through that particular kind of destructive thinking pattern. The fourth most destructive thinking pattern is indecision anxiety, right? So when you don't know what decision to make, or you feel like you're not a good decision maker, or you're just afraid of making a mistake. I used to be so afraid of making a mistake that it would actually keep me stuck. And then it could lead to the first destructive mindset, analysis paralysis. But when you have indecisions, and you're afraid to make the decision and commit and make a mistake, that could really hold you back. And while it's very common and normal to have some anticipation or some anxiety about uncertainty, really get better and work on trusting yourself and trusting your decision making, knowing that you could always correct along the way, and that done is better than perfect. So as you make decisions and you learn more about what goes into your decision making, you'll learn more how to course correct, right? So are you too impulsive? Do you wait too long? Do you doubt yourself? Like, what contributes to your anxiety about making decisions? Has someone told you you're not a good decision maker? Because decision making is a skill and you can get better at it. But if you have too much anxiety in your decision making, that is really going to keep you stuck. And or worse, you may be making decisions by default, or letting other people decide for you, and it might not even be in your best interest. So it's really important that you work on getting more comfortable with making your decisions and releasing the excessive anxiety related to decision making. The fifth most common type of destructive mindset is the lack of confidence. This is a big one because we all deal with confidence issues and have different levels of confidence. And in some situations you can be really confident, in others you might not be. But lack of confidence can really keep you stuck, because you can stay stuck in your comfort zone. You may be afraid to take action to create the positive change that you want in yourself, because you don't feel confident either in yourself or in your ability to be successful, or in yourself. And those are all really mindsets that you'll need to work through, because you can grow your confidence. You can work on being able to feel more confident in yourself. And quite honestly, confidence just comes from knowing that you will be able to figure it out, that you will be able to learn from your experience. And so don't let lack of confidence get in the way, because confidence can be built. Confidence sometimes isn't really needed when you're first starting something new. It's just the willingness to do it, and confidence will come along the way, because sometimes courage needs to come first. And courage is very critical to success. The next sixth most common destructive mindset is perfectionism. This used to be huge for me. I used to be a really high perfectionist because I wanted things to be perfect, and I thought I had to be perfect. I hated to make a mistake. So perfectionism can really hold you back and can lead to procrastination, because it's very easy to think that it's not enough. It's very easy to think it's not going to be good enough. And so you can constantly be working it, reworking it, reworking it, reworking it, reworking it, thinking it's never enough. And that's why earlier I said done is better than perfect. So just work on being able to refine things as you move along and gain more clarity. So you've got to release the perfectionism and be comfortable with making mistakes and things not being perfect, knowing that you can refine it as you move along. I mean, that's what people do, right? That's what companies do. So even with Apple, when they're releasing a phone, a lot of times it doesn't come out perfect. They have bugs and things, kinks they have to work out. So even the best of the best companies are imperfect. So you don't need to be perfect to be happy. You don't need to be perfect to be successful. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. Like, none of that is true. So if this is a big one for you, I totally know where you're coming from, because I needed to work through my own perfectionism before I could reach my next level of success. So if this is a big one for you, you might need to spend several months just on that one thinking pattern. But when you spend several months on that one thinking pattern, it could really give you the breakthrough that you need in your happiness and success. Like, I remember for me, when I broke through that perfectionism, the inner peace I experienced, the relief I felt, I felt more comfortable in my own skin. Self-acceptance came in. Like, it's really powerful when you break through that mindset. Number 7, the most destructive mindset, and that is over competitiveness. You know, when we get overly competitive and we focus on what other people are doing, we get derailed and sidetracked, and negative feelings like jealousy come in, and it can throw you off track. And so learn that success really depends on cooperation with others. So learn to create win-win situations. How can you collaborate with people? How can you build win-win situations and relationships where people aren't competing with you? Instead, they're working harmoniously with you. They're working collaboratively with you, so that one person doesn't have to lose and the other wins. You really want to come from the mindset of what is a win-win situation, so that all parties really get what they want. And this becomes really powerful. Your relationships will blossom, your success will blossom when you can shift from being overly competitive into being a great collaborator. All right, the next one is procrastination. Procrastination is a really common problem that we've all dealt with. And really, the way to overcome it is you've got to be able to take small, consistent action and have an accountability partner. So if you're a procrastinator, if you notice that you put things off to the last minute or you make excuses, it's really important that you get out of procrastination. I had a client, and one of the way that she motivated herself is she would procrastinate, because she noticed if she had a lot of pressure at the end, it would force her to perform. And while that was true, it wasn't sustainable, because what was happening is it was taking a toll on her body physically. Like, her body was starting to wear down. Her energy level was down. Her health was getting worse. And just psychologically, it was putting so much stress on her. So it's really important that you manage procrastination by creating a schedule that allows you to make sure that you're working on the right things and you're making steady progress, and you have a list of priorities, and you get to see like what's gonna move the needle. That's what my coach would say. What's gonna move the needle? So looking at activities and really ranking them in priority, and what is the most important that you need to be doing that's gonna give you the biggest result. And when you write it down, it helps you stay accountable and helps you track your progress. So that's really important for you to be able to break through procrastination. Okay. Not many people talk about the next one, but I think it's really important that we talk about it in terms of just happiness, success, and that's financial mismanagement. When we don't know how to manage our money well, it's going to cause us to make poor decisions, right? And money affects so many areas of our life, and it really is a mindset where I'll hear people say they can't afford something when they can. Or I'll see people where maybe, your money isn't going to what's most important to you because you're excessively spending, or you don't know how to say no, you haven't developed your walk away power. But as you develop your success and happiness, it's really important that you develop financial responsible money management, so you know how to manage your money in a really healthy way, and your spending is aligned with your priorities and values. Because if it's not, it's going to be really easy to get sidetracked and to make poor investments and get derailed in your success and in where to best invest your financial money. The last one that I want to talk about is disorganization. So when we're not organized, when we are not structured and we feel scattered, that can lead to getting really stuck. So it's important that you remove clutter, either in your physical environment, so like looking around your space and seeing, is it organized or disorganized? Is it chaotic? Can you clean out your space so it reflects feeling peaceful, successful, on track? So really just looking at your personal space. And then there's also the inner game, which is, do you need to declutter your mind, right? So being disorganized in your head because you're overthinking, or you're scattered in your thinking, or you have so much stress and worry, that can really get you off track because it's hard to focus. And focus is critical for lasting success. So really looking at, where are you disorganized? I remember when I was first starting my business, I needed to be better organized in having folders and files where I could just, as I'm doing content, I'm putting it in the right place. Otherwise, I was wasting time really looking for Word documents that I had made, worksheets that I had made. So getting organized is going to make such a huge difference in your life, because it's going to save you time and it will help you stay on track to your goals. So those are the top 10 destructive mindsets. I'll review them real quickly. So in summary, it's analysis paralysis, waiting for the right time, fear of commitment, indecision, lack of confidence, perfectionism, over-competitiveness, procrastination, financial mismanagement, and disorganization. So you may have one or all 10. Right now, it doesn't matter how many you have. So even if you have all 10, don't get discouraged. Instead, use this as an opportunity to see where you need to make progress. And you may need to play this video more than once so you can learn, where do you need to start making shifts. Start with the one that is most relevant to you right now. Maybe it's procrastination, or maybe it's disorganization, or maybe it's your perfectionism. Start with one and build some mastery over it. And if you need help getting free of your success saboteurs, if you'd like to set yourself up for success and really get past the things that hold you back from your highest levels of happiness and success, reach out to me. I would love to support you. You can reach out to me at support@shannontranphd.com, or you can visit me at shannontranphd.com to learn more about how I help people remove their own success saboteurs. All right, bye for now.